Boom. Welcome everyone, market talk time. Good to be before you all. You like my jacket? Looking very dapper. I'm gonna be doing a Mates of Marcelo in this episode. Actually, I've already done it, check it. Guess what? Olfactive Traveler, now in Oligarch.
No obsessions over you. Keep me guessing. What's your move? Is that what you like? Girl, is that what you like? If you break, you buy.
So that'll come at the end of the episode. I'm going to be talking more about, it's an interesting full circle that it's occurred with Olfactive Traveler, Oligarch, all that sort of stuff. The announcements for today at the end of the episode. One is there is a Penhaligon's promo coming up. You'll have a chance to win either Bold Blend or the Audacity. If you missed that episode, check out this, missed that conversation, check out this episode. There will be a member spin next week, and I'm also doing a town square meeting. I'll tell you what that means. And then last, as you just saw, doing a new Mates of Marcelo, and it will be about Oligarch, and I'll share a bit more about that. Now, last week I was, if you missed the episode, I was another Mates of Marcelo. There's an awesome bakery here called To Be Frank. The owner, his name is Frank, or Franco, he's an Argentinian. And it was, I mean, if you look at my face, I cut myself out a few times out of the shots because I had the most gleeful. I look like a 5-year-old at his birthday party. I just couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear to the point where I'm like, oh, I look so dopey. But anyway, it took me by surprise. I knew that Franco really was enjoying the fragrance. He sent me a message. I mean, let me give you the quick backstory. I went to him about November last year to say, hey, we would like to partner up with a bakery and Panettone and Dolce Milano. I went to see 3 bakeries. I said to all 3 on that same day, whoever says to me yes first will be the one. Turns out the very first bakery, I'd finished the day and they already sent me a message saying, we want to be the guy. The next day or the day after, Franco then goes, hey, yo, we want to be the guy. And I said, look, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So I said to him, I'll talk to you for this year. Now, in the meantime, he came across the strip where Dolce Milano was sprayed, and he's like, man, this thing is gorgeous. Couldn't find it anywhere because we're moving into retail, hence why the Oligarch conversation is about to kick off. And contacted me and said, yo, I want to buy it, I want to test it again, blah, blah, blah. And so I said, let me come out and show and bring it to you. And he goes, bring all of them. So bring all 3 of them so I can experience all of them. Turns out, spray, Dolce Milano, he's like, it's all I remember. I love this fragrance. I want to buy it. I had one there and I'm like, yep, here it is. He goes, let me smell the others. He sprayed Pelle Viola. He goes, look, I love Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. I said, okay, well, you'll like this then. Boom. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I want to buy this one. And then I said, well, try out Roma. And he tested it on skin. In that video, he mentioned that in the end, it turns out that Roma is his most favorite. At the time, he's like, I don't think I like it. And I said, put it on skin because it's actually different from card to skin. Turns out he bought all 3. And to see him speak about, and none of it was planned. So to see him speak about the fragrances in the moment, I was a 5-year-old kid at my birthday party. I could not stop grinning. So today I wanted to talk about Pelle Viola because I love the way he said it. Actually, watch this. I think I said to you, try Pelle Viola.
And Pelle Viola, sexy. Pelle Viola, I don't know if we're gonna talk. Yeah, okay, fantastic. So then, Pelle Viola, as soon as I tried, I thought like, oh, this is sexy, and then
just the way he said it, his expression as he says it, I'm like, it warmed my heart. Because obviously, you love your own children, but it's not until you put them in a beauty contest and they're actually competing against others. And on that, I got this week also. So this is Marianne, and she's an awesome, actually I got a chance to meet her at a Libertine meetup. Just to say that when I grow up, I want to be like Marianne because she's a baller. She has I actually said to her, I'm like, what do you do? Because I want to do that also. So I mean, like, did you buy shares? I mean, how is it? The lady has a great lifestyle. Anyway, is in Singapore, and she mentioned that she met up with Thierry Wasser, who is Guerlain's perfumer. They had a one-on-one conversation. Actually, here's the message, so you can read it while I'm narrating it. In the conversation, we came up, which thank you, Marianne, for the generosity. It piqued his interest, and then she mentioned that he produced a fragrance, 1 of 9, of an iris. If you like iris, you're gonna love this. And the next part to this comment from Marianne, that even compared to the 60,000 Singaporean dollar creation, Pelle Viola still stood up against that, and something that Marianne really resonates with. And I tell you, I was in the middle of a shoot. I saw the message come through, and I'm reading it, and man, I was again the 5-year-old at my birthday party. I was grinning from ear to ear. So today I really want to talk about all things Pelle Viola. There's other things happening too. So I've been getting other messages from people. So I'm going to pepper that across as I go into the conversation. So let me begin. So today's conversation is all about, I guess, a tribute to Pelle Viola, and what a blessing. I feel like it's such an honor and a blessing that Kevin and I were able to bring to life this beautiful fragrance. And I'll point out one more. Okay, so when we were testing, this is the fragrance we landed on. Can you see? You can't quite see. Anyway, so it's up to here. So I've used more than half. So this is the fragrance that we signed off, or we're about to sign off on, I should say. And then in meeting with Luca Maffei, he started to tell us about the Iris Blue Farm and the low yield and exclusive to him and organic, and it's his own farm, and they're using a heritage iris and all these elements. And in the end, that's what's in Pelle Viola. So we flipped. So this was the sample we were going to sign off on, or the creation. But in the end, we substituted the iris that's in here for the Iris Blue. We could only do 500 bottles, so you get a certificate for those who don't know. You do get a certificate certifying that this is from the Iris Blue Farm. There is only 500. We actually have less than half, everybody. So if you want this 2025 harvest, my recommendation is that, check it out. You could buy the Traveler. It has all the other fragrances, so you can now experience it. But anyway, Pelle Viola is what I'm going to talk about right now. And then I'm going to break into the other fragrances that have a leather, but with an accent, some kind of accent to it. My camera is flashing, so I'm going to stop, and I'm going to then pick up the conversation. And back. So today I'm going to kick off with Pelle Viola. For those who are not familiar, this is the packaging that we have for it. Obviously, it's a celebration of Florence. That's the intention of it. All your order, or your fragrance comes with this certification. It is numbered, so every bottle is numbered, and there's only, as I mentioned, 500 bottles of that. So today, Pelle Viola is the one that I'm wearing, and the thing that I love about the fragrance is, and this is what we were always going for, the delicate balance between the leather note, so to ensure that you could feel, or for it to be accessible, for it to be in the air, for it to be, for you to acknowledge that there was a leather note in the actual fragrance, but to also be balanced with this beautiful iris and give that powdery effect, that floral effect, that earthiness that iris can also bring, and that the two were to walk this gentle line. I love the opening of the fragrance, and that is that it starts off with these great herbals, super sparkling, the things like ginger, and for me, the thyme really pops. So you get this wonderful herbal thyme coming through. There is also like the pink pepper, so there is that sort of like that spiciness that comes in. The way that I guess, share how the fragrance evolves when I'm speaking to others, it's imagine yourself walking through a field, and you're walking through the grass, essentially, and you're walking to the Iris Blue Farm. That's how I sort of paint the picture. And this field is a spring morning. It's a little bit dewy, so everything has like an uplift, and there's a sense of energy in the air and the atmosphere. Finally, you clear that clearing and the herbs and that greenness, and then you come to the actual Iris Blue Farm itself, and you see the beautiful irises, the earthiness of it. And of course, they're picking these flowers and putting them into leather baskets, and this is now how the fragrance then begins to evolve and move. You do find that it does have a very sparkling, herbal zing to it on that opening, and then as it migrates through, the iris and the powderiness and the floral nature begins to evolve. the leather is behind it, and eventually in time, the leather that does come forward. There is oud in the base, and so you're getting a little bit of that animalic coming through. But again, the balance that is struck, that Luca Maffei created, and we recently did a story on this, and Kevin's comment was that this is the artistry of Luca, the way he was able to balance these two elements between the floral, powdery nature and the leathery suede element, and the two are riding together just so harmoniously between them. I've been getting a lot of messages of late, so somehow Pelle Viola is resonating across the world. And let me just share a few of these. So, because obviously I'm gonna, this is my fragrance. I put energy, time, money, because it costs quite a bit of money to bring to life the perfume. And to see it being so well received, I tell you, it just makes you super happy. So this was a message from Audra. She mentioned that, so Audra is a wonderful lady from the US. She joined us last year on one of the tours. Actually, she's joining us again for the South of France tour. She mentioned that she got together with a group of friends and shared all three fragrances, and Pelle Viola really resonated. And she wrote this, and I really love the passionate description of what she detects or what she experiences as she smells Pelle Viola in the air and how it performs. That she compared it to a Hermes bag, something luxurious and sophisticated. I also loved, as members of the channel, we have access, or the members have access to Discord, and Mo, one of our members who's actually from Norway, he was traveling through Italy he was there for Excellence, he was in Florence, and he mentioned that wearing Pelle Viola in the city of Florence, there was something in the atmosphere that just made it project more, sing better, the presence and the inspiration of the smell with the city, just the combination between the two was a beautiful marriage. Excuse me, I've got like a bug in my throat. Let me just have a little drink. And look at these photos. Look. These are all photos that I've been getting. These are photos that people have been posting. And you have no idea. It's like, and I go back, as we were building this, the dream is to create something that resonates, that makes people happy and that makes people, just joyful. And then to see it now in the world, in the wild, and then the response in this kind of manner, it's like priceless, it's just like, it's just gorgeous. Anyway, when it comes to the performance on the fragrance on me, I find that I get 10 plus hours without a problem. And I'll say that I really get a lot more. So I'll wear it for the day. I'm actually wearing it today. And it projects through clothing. It really has great effect in the air. I find that the sillage and projection is a very confident moderate. It's not a room filler. It was never designed to be that way, but it was definitely one that it's a sophisticated, well put together fragrance. It's something that you dress up in, something that if you're going somewhere special, that was the intention. Something that you can just accelerate and accentuate your personality. That's the intention. There it is, Pelle Viola. So the fragrance, one, super proud of the creation, grateful for Luca Maffei's, a lot of energy. I mean, we put him through the paces, let me just say. I've got all the iterations over here, and there was a lot of tweaks that we requested of him, but I'm glad that in the end we landed here. Let me move on to another fragrance, and this was one of my first loves. This is the Memo's French leather. This is my first understanding of leather with accented notes to create some kind of magic. This is where, for me, Pelle Viola was really birthed as a result of my love for the early Memos. I've got a number in their collection, and the French leather was one that I fell in love really quickly because, one, I really began to adore the leather note and not done in such a robust animalic sort of way. And secondly, I was new to rose. I was sort of this is early on in my niche journey, always afraid that rose was is that a floral? Is that a female note? Should I be wearing a floral in my fragrance? There was all these questions as I was first moving into niche. I think nowadays, one, I'm always banging on about, wear florals. It's a great thing for a man. And secondly, niche is a lot more advanced. When I got into it in 2017, it was still, and I had come out of designer, which was this is for men, this is for women. And so all of a sudden to have a floral note, a rose note, I'm like, whoa, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. French leather is a little bit linear in its expression, but it does it so well. It's just a really classic, and it still stands the test of time. Even now with my, I guess, more advanced nose, and I like more complex fragrances, it's still a beautiful fragrance to wear. The classic construction is the rose and that leather. The leather is a suede with a touch of, not dirtiness, but a bit more into that. So suede into leather, so it has a bit more aggression to it, I guess. The rose is very rose forward and very floral, almost to a point where it feels a little bit constructed. So it feels like it's been accelerated a little bit more than just a natural rose fragrance that I like take, radical rose, where it feels very delicate in its construct, whereas here the rose does have a bit more push to it. And actually funny because I just got a citrus out of it. So I know that there is like a lime or something like that. And there was a little bit of that sort of the zestiness of that lime coming forward. And the fragrances I've got now on skin for about an hour. And the rose is forward, the leather is present, it is linear. Where you start is where you go. But a great fragrance, if you want something that is, think of a really beautiful handmade leather item or something quite refined, then French leather is that style of fragrance. Here, I've got more fragrances here. Let me roll this up. When it comes to projection and presence, I find that it's in a sort of moderate into a quiet, never into low, so it doesn't become a body scent, and I do get about 8 hours without a problem. The next one, I'm going to stay with this floral sort of accent, and that is BDK's Vanille Leather. The thing about this fragrance here is I thought it was going to be a lot more animalic. I thought it was going to be like vanilla and leather. I thought it was going to be like a very sugar-coated leather garment, when in fact, what I get a lot more from this fragrance is a white floral, sort of gardenia, jasmine style of scent profile to it. On first spray, the white floral pieces really come forward very comfortably, and give me 1 second. My throat is dry today. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me, sorry about that. The one thing about Vanille Leather is that, so you have French leather. A man can easily wear this, even though the rose is quite floral and forward, but because of the leather, the balance there is quite striking in that a man can easily wear this. Obviously a woman can too. Whereas here, I feel that this is a lot more feminine leaning. You would have to be very comfortable with jasmine, with gardenia, with that white floral bouquet element, not so much the indole element. There's no animalic nature to it. It is very floral in its profile. So there is a white floral piece to it. When it opens, it does have that very distinct jasmine, gardenia. I believe there's even orange blossom in here. I don't get that orange blossom sort of nectar-like element of it, other than the white floral part of it. There is a sweetness, and in time, that sweetness converts itself over to a vanilla. I do find that the best way to describe this is if you were to grab an actual vanilla pod, that has a very pulpy, very floral, vanilla element to it, and I find that Vanille Leather is exactly that. You're actually getting more the floral vanilla aspect as opposed to the gourmand, sweet, pastry-like sort of element to it. So if you like that style of vanilla, really sweet and decadent, this is not your fragrance. For me, this is Paris. So I bought this in Paris. If you do want, I was like ODing on all things vanilla on this Paris trip. If you do want a very vanilla forward, then Saint Honoré, by Nikolai is the fragrance that you want. This is now very vanilla forward, very sugary, very hazelnut. It just as a decadent gourmand fragrance, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Whereas the Vanille Leather is more about a floral, pulpy, the not necessarily realistic vanilla pod, but a lot more vanilla pod leaning than it is as a gourmand expression. The leathery aspect, or the leather part of it, is very subtle, to the point where it's almost more realistic than it is constructed. Again, going back to French leather, that is very leather constructed. You're getting a leather birch tar sort of element to it, whereas with this pulpiness here, it's because of the pulpiness of that bean that you're getting that leather facet to it. And right now, an hour and a half deep, the vanilla sweetness is coming through. The florals are still very present, but not as pronounced as in that opening. And you're getting a very subtle leathery effect, but not leather, not suede, not animalic, just a leathery effect, more to do with the actual pod itself. It's a very subtle fragrance. I find that I get about 8 hours. It's a sophisticated fragrance. So if you were dressing up, you're going somewhere special, it's definitely one that you would, to create a bit of charm. It's that style of fragrance. If you're going to Paris, I would recommend it. It does infuse itself beautifully in the air, in that atmosphere. Boom. But it is very feminine leaning, so heads up everyone, boys. Yeah, just careful on that. If you do want that leather and vanilla and all the rest of it, boys, this is the one. This is Sugar Leather, and I put here in capital letters, I love this one. This one, it's almost like finding an old friend. I discovered this years ago, and actually this opened the door to me and my love affair with all things Nuit Nomade. This is a brand that I really just adore all their collection. If you're interested, here are the discovery episodes that I created. You can use the code NFC10 to get a 10% free delivery, etc. There's other promos in there, like I think there's another one which is NFC25. Anyway, I'll put it in the comments so you can see different things that you can actually explore the brand in a greater detail. Became good friends also with the brand owner, which is Philippe, as a result of falling in love with this one. So this was my gateway. So Sugar Leather is a gorgeous fragrance. If you love now that great balance between this gourmand, super inviting vanilla, burnt sugar, caramel effect with now this leathery, slightly suede and a masculine vibe to it, this balance between the two, this is magic. A man and woman can wear this. This is an easy fragrance, completely unisex. It's an all year round fragrance. You can wear this in high heat summer and it's just gorgeous in the air. Or you can wear it in winter and it infuses itself beautifully also in the air. Here's a big call, okay? So, and I own African leather. I love African leather. As I said, when I first got into niche, I started to dive into all things the Nomade range. But if you don't have if you don't have African leather, I would say this one trumps it. All right. So if you want that spicy, leathery effect, that the sort of gourmand, Moorish, I find that African leather is overtly on the spiciness. I don't find that it's very leathery. Whereas here, sugar and the leather, the burnt caramel, the sort of the sweetness and the fruit effect that it has, the balance between the two is divine. Now I did write, yep, timing is good. I did write here that I still get very much a spicy fruit, in particular like an apple with cinnamon, and then that leathery effect that comes through on deeper into the dry down. Nothing, so all along you're getting that caramel burnt sugar effect from opening all the way through to its dry down. On its deeper dry down, the leathery effect is very welcoming. So it never goes into animalics, it never goes into anything dirty or darkish. If anything, if anything, the French leather probably has a little bit more of the darker leather aspect. Actually, and the darkest on me is definitely Pelle Viola. Man, that is, it's my own, but that's a beautiful fragrance. So where I am right now, I'm definitely in more that smoky leather. There is a touch of that dirtiness from the oud, and then you're getting those earlier notes of the cardamom and the powderiness of the iris and stuff like that. So Pelle Viola is definitely a lot more pronounced when it comes to its leathery effect, whereas in Sugar Leather's case, it's more sort of peeled back. The vision that I always get is a saddle of some sort, and it's something that it has a sweet leather smell to it, so a beautiful, appealing leather sort of scent profile. The character that I think of when I think of this is Robert Redford's character from Out of Africa. So he is equal part rugged and, you know, what do you call it? What were they called? They were called explorers, adventurers. So he was that, you know, sort of lives in the wild and all the rest of it. But there's also a gentlemanness about him. You know, he's, you know, in a safari outfit. He's always well shaved. So there's a cleanness to him, but he's also rugged at the same time. And I find that Sugar Leather does that beautiful balance between being gourmand and very appealing and very sort of alluring, but at the same time, having the animalic leather nature to the fragrance where it gives it that rugged element to it. 8 hours, I put here 8 hours without a problem. It definitely isn't in the confident moderate when I'm wearing it. It does have a lot of push. People are aware that I am got it on. Boom. All right, last one. Last one, 2 more. This is a new inclusion. Not a lot of people are talking about it, and some people who are talking about it are not saying nice things. I don't know why. It's funny how lately I've noticed, and I don't know what's occurred there's been a shift away from Xerjoff. I don't get it. There's been a lot of like, oh, they're not doing that great, beep, boop. I don't know. Je ne sais pas. I still think they're creating great fragrances, so, you know, I just go by feeling and nose and what it does for me. And I still think these guys are doing a good job. So anyway, put it out there. If you haven't tried out Torino 25, I do recommend it. It has, in my opinion, this is the perfect leather citrus combination. The ultimate, in my opinion, is Resvelium. So I think that Resvelium as a leather citrus combo is out of this world phenomenal. The problem is, and I've discovered this more and more, is that it doesn't resonate with a lot of people. They find it excessively aggressive, very green, scratchy in that citrus. The leather is very intense, very pronounced. And I think the off-putting part of it is that green citrus element to it, where I find it super appealing. I find it just it works for me. And it works on me too. When I'm wearing it, it smells amazing. However, if you like something that's better balanced, a lot smoother, very sophisticated, then Torino 25 is your answer. It does say that it has rhubarb on the opening. Cool. What I get is a beautiful bergamot. So Paris Monte Carlo have a fragrance which is Bergamotto di Calabria, if I'm not mistaken. And that bergamot is floral and bright and sunny and citrus and joyous. And that's what I get here. I get this beautiful bergamot with a floral and a sugariness and a happiness. I do get like a lemony kind of vibe to it. So that's what I get to my nose, even though the notes say rhubarb and grapefruit. I don't get either the green or the scratchy of the grapefruit. I get the floral, bergamot, zesty, fun, sunshine element of it. I sprayed it again before just to make sure that I wasn't imagining it, and 100%. I rewrote it all again. Oh, and a ginger zing. I do get this beautiful uplifting ginger, like one thing that I haven't done in a while, but I used to love doing is actually like in a blender, ginger. So you blend it, so you get that little ginger shot, and that's the scent profile. That sharpness, that zinginess of the ginger is what you get on that opening. It is all sugar coated. I wrote here. It does have a funness to it. Nothing is serious, and then as it moves through, you do get a touch of that greenness coming through. So probably about 30 minutes deep, you get a bit of that greenness, which I'm going to say could be the rhubarb. It has still a very uplift, very happy sunshine kind of vibe to it, and then it goes into that leathery effect, and that's where I am right now. And the leather is very subtle, not animalic. It's not. It is leather, not suede. So it does have a leathery effect, but it's not aggressive or overtly leather. The citrus is still present and still effervescent and lively and fun. For those who have Sicilian leather, I find the Sicilian leather is quite a lot more animalic. It's a lot more intense, whereas the balance here between that citrus and the leather is quite divine. And I would even say, look, I would test, if you've got Sicilian leather, I'm going to say that this is a step away from that. It's a much more, because I can say it, I don't own Sicilian leather because it doesn't resonate with me. On my skin, not a big fan of it. So this definitely takes its place. And if you've got Sicilian leather, I'd love to see how you feel that the two work against each other. This is more masculine leaning. So because of that leather, because of the citruses, I feel like it leans a little bit more on the masculine side. No reason why a woman can't wear it. I'm talking to you, Vera, because I know you do like Sicilian leather, although your dad does not. So maybe you could try this out and see what your dad thinks. Funny story. Actually, here's the episode. Check it out. It's a funny story. And the way that Vera delivered the lines cracked me up. I did it right here that it's super smooth. It's very well sort of constructed. And you are now also well-dressed, well put together, presenting yourself beautiful to the world. Boom. Oh, I did a blind smelling with this. So I did buy this as a blind buy. It was part of the Torino lineup, so we always do it. And Sandra, which is not uncommon, did not like this fragrance, period. And no, too citrusy, too leathery. It's so leathery, it's so intense. Until I showed her a real leather fragrance. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to stop because this thing is about to pop. I'm back. So the last one that we're going to do, I did not spray. This is the all-powerful, almighty Cuoium by Orto Parisi. This is so where all the others are accented with a rose or iris or a bit of citrus, this is now incense, it's oud, it's earth, it's intensity. It's not overtly fecal, so there's no like really dirty manure essence to it, but it definitely is robust and it's powerful and strong and like super duper intense. Okay, one spray. I didn't put it on my skin because it won't come off. 24 hours without a problem. I was wearing it the other day. It seeped onto my clothing. I didn't even need to bring it up to my nose. I do get a boozy effect on the opening. And what I mean by boozy, the way I describe it is, think of a very amber, dark liquid, alcoholic. So that's something that has a booziness, whether it's rum or whether it's whiskey or something of that nature, inside a barrel that is been stained and used multiple times. And there is this heavy, sort of deep, woody, boozy element that sort of comes forward. It does have a very earthy-like element to it. The leather is exceptionally pronounced. There's nothing in here is coming in quietly. Everything is coming in like a bull charging at you. You know, it's super duper intense. The reason why I say super duper, I use the Apple One app, and I like to do yoga just to stretch out the body. And the lady always says, super duper. That's super duper fine. Anyway, sorry, footnote. This week, an episode's coming out with Elias. We're doing the last of the Orto Parisis, Risveglium and Cuoium. And we talk about this. As I said, I was wearing it that particular day, and it is potent. Now, this is one that you don't bring your nose up and inhale if you're like a bit sensitive when it comes to that, really intense fragrances. This is for a veteran onwards. Spray it and leave it alone. Just let it diffuse, let it be in the air. I came home last night. after filming, and as soon as I walked in, now I was quite a distance from my wife, and she's like, "Wow, whoa, what is that?" Because my nephew came over for dinner too. He's like, "I don't know who smells so good, but someone's smelling amazing." It was me. It was Cuoium. Then she came up to me. I said, "Oh, it's me. This is, check it out." It was a bit of a party trick because I knew what the response was going to be. She came up close, inhaled, and it was like she had smelled like a pile of manure or something very, very intense. She reeled backwards going, "That is disgusting," but that's what's in the air. So Cuoium is beautiful as a fragrance with its presence and it's majestic and its majesty as it goes into the air, but don't go up to it. Don't go smelling it. Just let it do its thing. And it's divine, but it won't come off. So, and I knew that if I had sprayed this, all the others, they just wouldn't have a chance to stand up against the beast that this thing is. So for those who really like forward-facing leathers now, but with a lot more going on. There's another great fragrance by Matière Première, Falcon Leather. I don't own it. It's not one that I enjoy. I've tried to love it because I've got pretty much the full collection, but Falcon Leather does my head. It's very gasoline-like, it's very intense, I just can't do it. Whereas I love Cuoium. I can do Cuoium. I really enjoy the nuances that are in here, the different elements, and I think what it is, it's the earthiness. There's a real organic feel to the fragrance, and it's divine, but not for the faint-hearted. Boom, there it is. So there are some beautiful leather fragrances. Maybe the best, I don't know, maybe. It's my child. I'm allowed to say that. It's my baby. So, but yeah, it's something quite divine. Now, for those people who would like to experience Olfactive Traveler and Pelle Viola in Melbourne, you can.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So here we are. Mates of Marcelo. Almost feels like a full circle. Guess where we're going? Would you believe? We're back to Oligarch, baby. Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Oh, welcome.
Hello, bro.
Hello.
This is Luke, one of the mates of Marcelo.
Hey, brother.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
And we're back in Oligarch. This is a full circle event for me. This is the first place that really I had a chance to elaborate, be partner with a perfume store with so many different fragrances. And now my fragrance is found in here. So for those Melbourneites and Aussieites, 5 reasons to come into Oligarch.
Let's do it.
I've been talking about the beauty of Pelle Viola.
Luc Maffei has actually created a masterpiece to perfection because it's super layered. It's almost like a chameleon because it changes and adapts to the actual weather. Perfect for all year round. I wouldn't penalise it just because it's basically summer or autumn, etc. But it's perfect all year round.
I like that actually.
Longevity, easily about 9+ hours, even though it's an eau de parfum. Every single perfume I receive in the store, I wear it. And I don't just wear it during the day, I spray it on my skin, I wear it at night, etc. And I understand how the scent actually works.
Yeah, beautiful. Reason number 1, come and test out the 3 fragrances that we have. Pelle Viola is gorgeous. You do need to put it on skin. Other reasons to come in. Let me help you with these.
Other reasons is Panadora's Oud Republic. A lot of people actually come in specifically ask for Oud Republic. Yep. It is a stunning scent. It's dark, wintry. It doesn't really work in summer, but it is a dark, wintry autumn scent. And it's not overpoweringly sweet. And the oud sits in the background. And on skin, probably about 10-15 hours on skin, even though it's a eau de parfum. And it's just, it's so beautiful. Delicious that you're always smelling your arm or smelling your face, or you're trying to get a whiff somewhere.
I find masculine or feminine. So ladies can wear this. Yeah, ladies can wear this. Don't be afraid of. And the other thing too is that you've got the full Panadora collection. So
correct.
Come in for this, but experience the rest. They're absolutely glorious. All right, next reason to come into Oligarch.
Dragon by far is one of the best smelling saffron perfumes I've ever smelled in my life. You can actually physically spray a tester card and pull that tester card out for the next 2 weeks and it still smells exactly the same as if you were to spray it for the first time. But Dragon, to me, is the pinnacle or the goat of the actual perfume in the shop.
Beautiful. Again, the collection of boadiceuses in the store. No one does it better than OLIGARCH to come in.
Next reason is they purely come in for Eden. Eden is created by Christian Provenzano. He's the nose behind the fragrance. There's only 4 ingredients: plum, grapefruit, neroli, and woody notes, which is quite remarkable considering the extent of the actual scent, because it's like nothing like you've actually ever smelt before in your life.
That was plum?
Plum, grapefruit, woody notes, and neroli.
Okay, because I'm getting the orange blossom neroli from the actual thing. I've
so-
got perfume on. I'm covered in perfume, so I'm not even going to spray,
right.
but that
It's all good.
smells divine.
Yeah, a lot of people come in because it's an extractor perfume. It's Adamo. It's taking the world by storm at the moment.
Right.
But Eden in itself is one of the biggest sellers from the Adamo range because it's so super versatile. Yes, you can actually wear this in winter, even though it's a summer perfume, but because of the woody notes, it develops into like a wintry scent.
Beautiful. All right, last one. Well, there's multiple reasons, but these are the 5. I'm
Well,
looking at so
well,
many other brands.
We can talk forever.
Yeah.
But this one is a huge factor. It mimics Louis Vuitton's Imagination Pacific Chill. This lasts 10-15 hours plus one spray on skin.
Right.
So you get that combination of Imagination and Pacific Chill plus Mesbitu's take on the actual perfume world. This in summer will blow the roof off OLIGARCH.
So there you go, 5 reasons to come into OLIGARCH. Other multiple reasons. This is where I discovered things like Kajal, at Boyce 1920, I discovered Fragrance du Bois. There's so many great fragrances in the place. We're gonna be doing some more filming because I do want to do a recap of a lot of the other fragrances. So like this brand here, I'm not aware of. Adamo, I'm not aware of. So I think I need to come back and we'll do a refresh when it comes to filming at OLIGARCH again.
For sure. Easy.
Boom, baby. Had someone said to me when I first presented to Kevin and we were going to do this, that we would become partners, that we would create KM fragrance tours and that we would then create a fragrance that would then be sold in OLIGARCH, I would have said, that's a cool story, but I don't think so. I mean, it's a little bit far-fetched. I don't believe the reality of it, but here we are. So Melbourneites, if you'd like to check out Olfactive Traveler, go to OLIGARCH, go check it out. Luke is awesome. He's fully across the brand really well. His personal love is Dolce Milano, which makes me happy. He does love all things gourmand, and for him, Dolce Milano really resonates with him, so that's awesome. All right, last bit of the announcement is that the Penhaligon promo is coming up. This is the 2 fragrances that are up for grabs. All you got to do is buy a Penhaligon from Libertine. They do deliver internationally. You'll go into the draw to win that. I'll do a spin of the wheel after 2 weeks, and the winner will be announced. So all you got to do is buy a bottle. If you want to, you can even buy multiple bottles. That'll get you multiple entries into the promo. I'll share more in 2 weeks' time when that promo goes live. Become a member of the channel. There are 3 values that you get. 1 is we say thank you. That's the most important one. We actually really do appreciate the support. 2, you get access to Discord. And on the 3rd of July, we will be doing a town square meeting. Basically, it's a Zoom call via Discord, essentially. Invite everyone who can join us. The timing that I do it suits better for the Northern Hemisphere. So we will do a meetup. We did one last time. It was a lot of fun, to be honest. And so we'll do it again. Chance to catch up, talk fragrances, put things forward to the community of what you're enjoying, questions you may have, etc., etc. So if you are a member of the channel, you'll have access to that town square meeting. Plus, next week I will do a spinning of the wheel. The person whose ever name lands on, you'll get a curated set of fragrances from me, of fragrances that you like. So you tell me what you like, I'll put together some samples and I'll send that to you. The last part is that's it. No, because we already did Mates of Marcelo. There will be another Mates of Marcelo next week. I was talking to my French professor, Luc, and he's gonna be doing all things pens, inks, paper, things of that nature. So if you're into that sort of stuff, Luc is going to a town called Bern in Switzerland. There's a particular retail outlet that he loves going to, and they're going to be doing a video next week. Mates of Marcelo across the world. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys all on the next episode.